Good morning or afternoon, Cavett Dental. So, what I'm going to go over with you is IRM, which is intermediate restoration material. The dental assistant does mix IRM. Doctor can either use it as a liner, which would mean it would be a little runny, or you will place it as a temporary filling. So regardless, it's because the decay is too deep. If it is used, runny, then doctor will place it. If it is used as a temporary filling, the dental assistant will place it. Doctor will walk out due to the decay being too deep. IRM has eugenol and cloves in it, so it's a sedative filling. It has healing powers. What you'll do is place it, have the patient come back 2 weeks later unless they're in pain, and then if 2 weeks later the tooth seems to be healing or isn't causing trouble, then you'll go ahead and proceed with the filling or crown. If it is hurting them, then they need to have the root canal. So let's proceed. We have the powder and we have the liquid. The powder you always want to fluff, okay? So you have a mixing pad. You've got a spatula. You've got so this is a plastic instrument. It's on both sides. Okay, the Woodson, which you probably heard in another video, actually has a condenser on one side, but doctor will usually call it a plastic. You've got your mirror and your Explorer and your cotton pliers. You always have your basic setup. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use the spatula. I always look at how big the prep is. So if the hole's not very big, you don't need a lot, and if it is, you do. I do not have this tooth prepped, but I can still demonstrate, okay? So let's get our powder out. See if I can come closer so you guys can really see. Okay. All right, and we're going to get our liquid out. Now, when doctor's waiting for this, all right, they don't like to wait too long. So mixing shouldn't take 10 minutes, okay? So you're going to go ahead and get the big chunks out. And you do this with all your powdered liquid ratios, no matter what you're mixing, okay? Do not put the liquid on the powder. You're always going to incorporate the powder into the liquid. So we're going to start. And you mix back and forth. Don't mix with the edge of the spatula. You want to mix with the flat end, okay? See, I keep scooping it up, checking it out. Okay. So, in the end, our ultimate goal is to have this like gravel, bring it together, be able to roll it in our fingers so that we can place it. Now, this might not look runny to some people, but it is. Okay, but if doctor was using this as a liner, excuse me, again, my throat's dry, this would be sufficient. Okay, but we're doing our own temporary filling. Okay, all right, so let's add some more. All right, then once you get it all together, you want to scoop it up and you want to roll it in a ball. You want gloves on with this, which you would anyways working with a patient, because it is messy. Once you get it rolled into a ball, okay, you always want gauze, which unfortunately I forgot. Please make sure your spatula is clean. If it's not, another DA will not do it for you. It will be in the back waiting for you to take care of. Okay. All right, so let's bring our Typodon over here if we could. All right, now, what you're going to do is you're going to grab a little bit, almost like when we were practicing the composites. Okay. And you're going to place it. Now, you can use your finger. It does not matter. This has more working time. It actually can take up to 10 minutes to set up. So what I really like about this is even when it's gooey, you can have your patient bite. Tap, 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 tap. And then it will kind of show. So you don't want any interproximal. So I'm going to use my Explorer, okay, because this does get hard. They would not be able to floss that, all right? And you don't want your bite high either. So I'm going to take it and Get rid of some of that. Okay, come bite again. Okay, now, if you're happy with it, you can get it off of there too. If you're happy with it, what you want to do is get your air water syringe tip, okay, and put your cold water. So use your saliva ejector in cold water, and it helps it set up because doctor does not want this patient in the chair for 10 minutes. You should have it done. Take them up front, do your pass off. Okay, excuse me. Do your pass off, and then have them scheduled in 2 weeks. Unless it's hurting, have them come back and get your room cleaned up. So let's say that doctor wants it thicker than that. He's the one placing it. Okay, so you don't have that luxury. If they're using this after a root canal, okay, just to wait for the filling, see how I added powder? And you just keep rolling it in your finger. And just keep rolling it. Sometimes it's hard to incorporate. Okay, so, and it does get a little like gravel, like that. Okay, but you still have to work it, guys. You gotta bring it together. Okay, and it's funny because they just sit there and watch you. But when they say thick, they mean thick. So, if you look, see how it's like crumbly still? Just gotta work it. So in crafts, if you use clay, it's called conditioning. And what it is when you're getting it all put together. There it is. Oh, no, it's still too crumbly. And yes, they're waiting for it. And then sometimes you get this far and it's still too runny. There it is. Okay.